From our viewpoint, we've been keeping a pretty close eye on what's happening out there. I can tell you these rescue teams are working very hard to get those remaining people out of the mine shaft. Our insurance experts also recommended at least looking into switching your insurance provider this year, as loyalty doesn't really save you any money in the long run. Just switching your insurance provider this year could save you hundreds of dollars. Emily Coffey, KRDO 13 investigates. As the investigation into the apparent assassination of former President Donald Trump has just begun, folks call 911. They have to wait on the line for 3 minutes before they even talk to a call taker. Why hasn't it been fixed yet? ABC News has confirmed that cyber truck that was in Las Vegas was rented out of Colorado Springs on December 30th before making its way down to Las Vegas. A familiar story here in the city, a smoke shop picking up the pieces after another smash and grab in Colorado Springs. This marks the 33rd case in Springs this year alone. The latest happening overnight at the H&F Smoke Shop on North Hancock. Well, good morning. I'm Emily Coffey. We want to take you straight to some breaking news this morning. This was the scene at Garden of the Gods. We're seeing smoke visible up in the hills in the area. Now, this shot that you're looking at right now is only about 20 or 30 minutes old. Now, it might sound crazy to say that fire mitigation has turned incendiary in Teller County, but the sheriff and a volunteer organization called No Flowco have come to heads on how to go about it. The sheriff arguing cutting down trees just like these infested with pine beetle without liability insurance is a bad idea. CSPD is urging residents to keep an eye out for trucks that look out of place. Now, that is especially if they are parked over small metal covers that look exactly like this. Now, I'm here in Woodland Park, and you can see just how heavy and dense and thick and tall this snow is. I'm standing inside of Spruce Defense right now, where you can really see the damage left behind by thieves this morning. The whole front of this store is boarded up after a car rammed through it repeatedly this morning. Now, the owners tell me this is not the first time that it's happened. Cleanup is underway after crooks rammed their car through this window to steal guns around 4 this morning.
Just please stop. Let us have our business and, leave us alone.
It's going to cost the owners of Spruce Defense between $20,000 and $30,000 to repair this devastation. A passion for selling firearms can turn dangerous in an instant, which is why
we keep everything locked up.
But Colorado Springs police say not only is this form of burglary common,
we've seen around 20 of these types of burglaries so far this year.
Today, the pattern comes with an extra dose of danger.
Criminals are not stealing firearms just to carry them around. They're stealing them for a purpose.
Often stolen firearms are used in crimes like assault or murder. To boot, Colorado Springs police say when they've arrested thieves for similar crimes, they're typically teenagers.
It's very hard for us to take them into custody and to hold them. So if we do catch them, it is what we call serve and release type of sentence, basically.
Meanwhile, businesses just like these are left with massive amounts of damage to recover. The other business that experienced the same type of theft did not decide to speak with us on camera today. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Emily Coffey, KRDO 13.
Something needs to be done to protect the habitat and the hoodoos.
The what?
Hoodoo is actually an African word for spirit, and so the hoodoo is the shape that is created by wind and water erosion.
Home to the Hoodoos, the Paint Mines Interpretive Park out in Calhoun, a spot that's getting pretty popular online.
It's being loved to death, basically.
A site that saw 36,000 visitors in 2023. The increase in visitors is why folks out here in this room are putting their heads together to protect that park.
There's just a lot of history there that hasn't been uncovered yet.
They're adding things like steps, more defined trails, and proper signage to discourage folks from climbing on the fragile rock formations.
It is very unique and it's very delicate. It's important to preserve that so that we can continue to do those scientific and geological expeditions on that, but also for future generations to be able to come and enjoy it.
Yeah, I talked to the county about this project today. They say they want to remind visitors to leave only footsteps behind. They also said that this project will be completed in January. Reporting live in Callahan, Emily Coffey, KRDO 13.
Sheriff Mikesell presented a new law that would repeal 3 laws they say hamper sheriff's offices from cooperating with ICE. Today, KRDO 13 Investigates asked the governor about this, who claimed that no laws currently inhibit a sheriff's office ability to cooperate with federal immigration authorities.
KRDO 13's Emily Coffey is live in our newsroom to break down the disagreement. Emily.
Now, the disagreement seems to be a matter of interpretation of law. Sheriffs in El Paso County and Teller County saying state law has hampered their ability to communicate with ICE and cooperate in many ways. So we asked Governor Jared Polis about these claims today. Here's what he had to say.
This narrative is false that Colorado is any way, shape, or form a sanctuary state. We are not.
Colorado is not a sanctuary state, at least according to the governor, but some lawmakers disagree.
The fact of the matter is, these sanctuary state laws were signed into law by the governor.
Republican Representatives Jeff Crank, Lauren Boebert, and Gabe Evans penned this letter to the governor last week, asking the governor to repeal laws that Teller County Sheriff Jason Mikesell says hamper his ability to work with ICE.
This policy is allowing people who are rapists and killers to be let out to walk on our streets instead of be deported back to the country that they're from.
Today, Sheriff Mikesell partnered with local lawmakers to present a new bill that would repeal those laws.
Without those partnerships, this is why we have cartels in Colorado. Without that partnership, this is why you're seeing a rise in fentanyl, car thefts across the state.
And Polis has a different take on that.
What's important to recognize is that your local police or your local sheriff's department, they're not arms of the federal government. We don't want them being commandeered to, instead of going after crime, enforcing federal immigration statutes.
In other words, Polis wants police departments and sheriffs to get rid of crime in the state, not go after illegal immigrants, since that's ICE's job.
It's not the responsibility of the governor to try and handcuff law enforcement.
The thing lawmakers and sheriffs can agree on today, the goal is to make Colorado safer.
We are excited by any federal help that can make Colorado safer.
The Attorney General's office tells us they agree with the governor, but sheriff's offices like those in Teller County say they want more power to go after these immigrants committing crimes. In other words, to widen the window of cooperation he has. As for Mikesell's bill, we'll have to see how it fares in the legislature. Reporting live in the newsroom, Emily Coffey, KRDO 13 Investigates.